Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome the members of council, staff, and members of the public to discuss the proposed zoning bylaw amendment and call this meeting to order. Some of the details: this is an amendment application submitted by Malcolm Ross, Shire Consulting Agent for Petroleum Investments Limited, known municipally as 258 to 270 Eureka Street, Petroleum. The owner is Petroleum Investments Limited. The agent is Malcolm Ross, Shire Consulting. Legal description is outlined on your sheet, and this known municipality as 258 to 270 Eureka Street. This is a public information meeting held for the purpose of the public engagement under the Planning Act. The public, council, and staff. During a public information session, no member discusses or otherwise deals with any manner in any way that materially advances the business of decision-making of council. At this time, I'd like to ask Mrs. Pearson for the Indigenous land acknowledgement, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Ottawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinaabe. The town of Petrolia is located on the lands associated with the Huron Tract Treaty number 29 of 1827. We express gratitude for the land where we live, work, and play, and we are committed to working respectfully with the land and the Indigenous peoples who have called this land home.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. Now, the purpose of this meeting is to afford the public an opportunity under the Planning Act to receive information relating to the proposed amendment of the Town of Petrolia zoning bylaw and provide input to town staff and council in relation to the proposed information as listed below. I just want to also state that this meeting is specific to the application noted above. Any comments you wish to submit in relation to draft plan of subdivision or subdivision agreement or other item not related to the above application shall be done when appropriate to the specific application. Submissions off topic and not in relation to the proposed application shall not be brought forward. So we're just dealing with the rezoning tonight. And at this time, I'd like to introduce council. And on my left, your right, we have Councillor Clark. Next is Deputy Mayor Field. We have on my right, again, at the far end, we have Councillor Patel and Councillor Hyatt. And my name is Brad Loosley, and I'm the Mayor of the Town of Petrolia. And I'll ask Mrs. Pearson to introduce the staff present, please.
Thank you. And I'll be going clockwise with our Director of Operations, Mr. Mike Thompson, our Junior Planner, Ms. Emily Tifo, our Senior Planner, Mr. Will Nye-Wedding, our Director of Marketing, Arts, and Communications, Ms. Larissa Ellsworth, our Deputy Clerk and Manager of Legislative Services, Ms. Jessica Smith, our CAO and Treasurer, Mr. Rick Charlebois, and I am your Director of Legislative Services and Clerk, Ms. Mandy Pearson.
Thank you, Mrs. Pearson. And I'd just like to ask Mrs. Pearson regarding the confirmation of the public notice.
Yes, so everything was completed per requirements under the Planning Act beginning February 2nd, 2026.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, I guess I'd like to call upon Mr. Will Nye-Wedding, Senior Planner, and Ms. Tifo, Junior Planner, to come forward for their planning report, please. And speak right into the mic, please. Yeah, thank you.
Good afternoon. Okay. All right, I'm Miss Emily Tifo. I'm here as a junior planner from the County of Lambton, and I'm with the Town of Petrolia. We're presenting the application on behalf of Ireland Holdings and Petroleum Investments here today. The application is proposing an amendment to the Town of Petrolia zoning bylaw, 63 of 2017. And we're looking at the lands municipally known as 258, 262, and 270 Eureka Street. Next slide, please. All right, so our background here. We have our subject property, which is an approximate 4.6 acre 1.7 hectare vacant parcel located on the east side of Eureka Street, north of Gables Avenue, and south of Discovery Line. It's surrounded by low-density residential development to the north, south, and west, and backs onto lots occupied by light industrial uses. The addition here today is going to be including 36 townhouses. 36 townhouses and a fourplex that will cater to seniors and diversify affordability and housing options in the region. Next slide, please. All right, so here on our screen, we can see the existing zoning within the region. We have our future development located at the north side of our parcel here. Then we have on the left-hand side, we have our R3 zone, and on the south, we have our R2 here. If we look at the photo with the yellow image here and the black surrounding, that's just an outlook of the subject lands, and you can see the combined zoning in that picture as well. Next slide, please. All right, so for our proposed zoning, we currently have our land zoned as R3, R2, and future development. We are looking at rezoning to an R3, exception 10. Our proposed concept plan here is going to be adding in our 36 townhouses and fourplex, which will permit for, oh my word, I'm blanking on my words, which will allow for the addition of the 36 units. And then let me double check on my notes real quick. Here. Let me see. So for our R3 exception 10, we will allow for a reduced front yard setback of 6.21 meters, where a 10.5 meter setback is required, as well as a side yard setback of 3.05 meters, where a rear yard setback of 6 meters, where a 10.5 meter setback is required. The regulations would also require a site-specific 10-meter requirement from the neighboring woodlot, and the proposed development will comply with the standing R3 zoning and is intended to accommodate the proposed built form while maintaining appropriate development standards. Great. So on our screen here today, you can see our concept plan that was proposed by Lairlin Homes, and the design itself was submitted by GB Architect in 2025. Our next slide, please. Thank you. So we have our policy analysis here. We utilized our provincial planning statement in 2024, our County of Lambton official plan, and our Town of Petrolia official plan, along with the Town of Petrolia zoning bylaw. Our provincial planning statement describes the amount of housing that we're going to be looking for in the near future. We're reviewing the need for housing, as we're supposed to be fast tracking our development procedures here. Proper, good, quality development. We reviewed our provincial planning statement, and it aligned with what we believe would be good quality planning procedures. The proposed townhouse development is going to increase the mix and range of housing by providing medium density housing options, which is an underrepresented form currently in the Town of Petrolia. And the proposal is noted to be generally compatible with the existing abutting single-family dwellings, while providing efficient, cost-effective use of the vacant land for residential use. Our County of Lambton official plan, we noted that our proposed zoning bylaw amendment is consistent with the urban center and housing policies contained in the county official plan. It will allow for an existing vacant infill lot to be developed for a range of housing with access to full municipal services, where residents are close to most services and daily necessities. In regard to our Town of Petrolia official plan, we noted that medium density development, including row housing, is permitted in residential areas, but to a maximum density of 50 units per hectare or less, conditional on factors such as, but not limited to, close proximity or arterial or collector roads, adequate separation distances from abutting low density residential building design compatibility with surrounding low density development, and provision of adequate on-site parking and recreational amenities. Our height will not be exceeding our 3 stories limit, which is considered one of our limits. So we will be in compliance there. And our proposed development will consist of a 36 dwelling units, which is less than half of the maximum density permitted on the 1.87 hectare parcel, and is to be accessed off of Eureka Street. Our zoning bylaw states that for an R3 zone, we are already permitted to use townhouses in multiple dwellings, in which this would include the additional, or the 2 existing and the proposed additional 4-plex dwelling. The permitted use of the R3 zone would therefore permit the proposed townhouses and 4-plex uses. Our applicant is seeking relief from these setbacks, which would remain compatible with the abutting residential lots and are not anticipated to negatively impact safe vehicular ingress or egress or emergency vehicle access to the site off Eureka Street. According to the D6 guidelines report, subject to adequate screening from industrial properties, we would also require that 10-meter setback from the woodlot on the property, which will implement the recommendation of our EIS and can include our next provisions here. Great. So we have our schedule for our Schedule A and our Schedule B, which will be alluded to on our next slide here. We have an image of our residential 3, our future development, and our residential 2. Those would be the ones that we are rezoning, looking to rezone to our residential 3 exception 3. And then our Schedule A, bylaw 63 to 2017 again, is going to be deleting that significant woodlot designation to ensure that there's compatibility along the subject properties. All right, we could go to our next slide. So as you can see from these 2 images here, we have our Schedule A on the left-hand side and our Schedule B on the right-hand side. Our Schedule A demonstrates that it's the R3 zone exception 10 throughout, whereas our Schedule B is highlighting that significant woodlot that would be deleted. And then next slide, please. All right, so our exception 10 to residential R3 would provide, notwithstanding any provisions to the contrary, the following provisions shall apply. So this includes a minimum front yard setback shall be 6 meters. The minimum required interior side yard setback shall be 3 meters, and the minimum required rear yard setback shall be 6 meters. And a minimum setback of 10 meters shall be required from the woodlot on the property to the north as well. Next slide, please. All right, so we have our background studies. We did an analysis of all of our technical studies here today, which recommended that the supporting technical studies have deemed the subject property appropriate for the proposed development and is subject to the standard mitigation and construction measures. We were included on a stage 1 and stage 2 archaeological assessment, a D6 compatibility between the industrial facilities and proposed sensitive land uses, an environmental impact study, geotechnical report, phase 1 environmental site assessment, phase 2 environmental site assessment, planning justification brief, and then traffic impact brief, along with a woodland officer report. In which these have concluded that everything should be able to move forward appropriately. And then our D6 in particular was our main review, considering that we do have our industrial uses to the east of the property. Our assessment through the D6 included that the abutting industrial property known as the 275 Center Street is a Class 2 industrial use. To mitigate with respect to truck movement on that property, the report recommends landscaping along the east lot line and fencing along the north, east, and south lot lines, which will be addressed through site plan approval. Subject to that, the report does support the proposed 6-meter rear yard setback. There were absolutely no findings within our archaeological study, and we had our trees previously removed from the property, was reviewed by a County of Lambton Woodlands Conservation Officer, who determined that removed trees did not meet the definition of a woodland and the removal did not contravene the County of Lambton Woodlands Conservation Bylaw number 4 of 2012. The EIS recommended a hedge along the north lot line and a 10-meter setback from the woodlot on the property to the north. The 10-meter setback will be addressed through a site-specific zone provision, and the EIS recommended a crayfish relocation program, which will be addressed additionally as part of the site plan approval process. And then the applicant completed the due diligence phase 1 and 2 environmental site assessments. There was no legal requirement to complete a record of site conditions. Phase 1 ESA provided recommendations in the event of oil wells, and in the event oil wells are encountered during the reconstruction, recommended the installation of monitoring wells and the completion of phase 2. Phase 2, sorry, notified that there were 3 monitoring wells on site. Parameters that exceed residential standards were found for 2 elements at separate boreholes, and appropriate remediation or construction measures will need to be incorporated into the site plan and building approvals moving forward. Great, so next slide, please. So our next steps, the Committee of Adjustment will consider certificates of cancellation prior to the commencement of development. We have our site plan application approval, which the process will proceed with when comprehensive servicing plans have been submitted and is addressed to the municipality. We have our site plan approval, which will ensure proper servicing and layout of the property as well. Great, and then perfect. All right, any questions? I think that's it.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Nywinning?
No, I think just if council has any questions, or we can answer your questions as they come up.
Okay, yeah. We'll have that opportunity later. I think. Thank you for that presentation. Please be seated.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that'll take us on to the next, and I'd like to ask the clerk just for a Mrs. Pearson regarding any written comments we have received.
Yes, certainly. As of my time coming up here at 10 to 5 this evening, we had received 3. I will check to see if anything came in after that deadline. And so the first is from Richard and Jolene Collins on Eureka Street. Did you want to come forward to summarize?
Would you like to speak to it? We have copies, but if you'd like to come forward and speak to it, you can do so. No, come up to the mic because this is all recorded. Thank you.
Want me to read my statement?
I don't think you need to,
Okay.
unless just, I think if you just want to highlight or bring something forward to council and to the planners, that would be great.
Really nervous. It's a lot of information to take in. So we were concerned about the woodlot that had been removed. We were wondering if there was going to be more woodlot stuff put in, like trees and stuff planted in the area. We have a lot of wildlife back there, like there's ducks, there's snapping turtles, there's a whole bunch of stuff. And we were just disappointed to see all the trees taken out of the lot. Sorry. We were concerned about the stormwater runoff and stuff. We have a lot of pooling of water back in our area. We do live about 3 houses down from the adjacent property. So with the removal of all of the trees and stuff, we're just worried about flooding and stuff in our area because we're going to have a lot of more hard surfaces like with rooftops and road paves and stuff. So we were just wondering where all the stormwater was going to run off to. There is a catch basin within those properties. So is it going to be affected by construction? The infrastructure and like sewer capacity, does the town, are we capable of handling all the extra growth, I guess, in that area? Sorry.
Do you want to just stop here and we'll address some of those first and then you can continue on? I can mention, first of all, as far as the water pollution control plant, yes, we can handle that, no problem. I'll just briefly speak to it and I'll ask the planners if they want to add anything. As far as the water back there, with the plan of subdivision, they will have to deal with their own water. So I would feel that would correct any flooding situation. But I'll ask the planners if you'd like to add anything in regards to their concern for the flooding there.
Through
ahead.
you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, as you said, there will be a site plan approval process that will look more exactly at the servicing and the technical side of the construction of the subdivision, which will include lot grading plan and stormwater management facilities. So the development will have to show that with the increase in hard surfacing, that they're able to hold up the water on the lot so that doesn't leave the property any quicker than it did before development. So there will have to be on-site facilities. So I forget exactly what is proposed in this situation, but it could be things like oversized catch basins or underground infiltration chambers, things like that that would hold that up. There is a existing catch basin in the boulevard at Eureka Street, so that would be also addressed through the servicing. So that that catch basin would either be protected or it would be replaced with alternate infrastructure that would allow the municipal storm sewers to continue to function properly. So that is something that a more detailed servicing plan will have to be part of the site plan approval,
Right.
And that will all be reviewed through our public works department and our peer review, our engineering consultant.
Thank you, Mr. Narvin. I think the bottom line is that it certainly will improve the situation, if not completely fix it. So, okay, if you want to continue on, did I miss, as far as
Trees.
trees, are we,
More green space added since you've removed all the trees.
yeah,
out of
you
there? Like, is there a
address,
plan to-
excuse me, address it
Sorry.
to the chair, please. Go through me. Ask your question to me, not the planner.
Is there going to be trees or green space added to this new development?
I'll ask the planner to speak to that, please. Go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, there will be a landscaping plan as part of the development. So the woodlot that was there, the trees that were there, vegetation, after its removal, this predates me, but there was a complaint, is my understanding, with respect to the removal. The woodland officer went there and determined that the what was there did not meet the definition of a woodlot under the county woodland conservation bylaw, and so therefore there was no protection for it, and nothing to prevent it from being removed. So there's not any plan to replace the site with a full, reforested or anything like that, but there would be a landscaping plan as part of the development, but not a reforestation plan.
Thank you. Does that answer your question? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I was concerned too about the buffer that's going to be on the north side. Is it going to be a fence or will there be maybe some shrubbery that we can put in as for privacy? Like,
That might be under the landscaping. I'll ask the planners. Can you add anything to that as well, please?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Again, that would be dealt with through the landscaping plan. At this point, we haven't determined exactly what will be required for fencing, but we don't know exactly what the proponent is proposing, and we could definitely suggest to the proponent what we'd like to see, but that has not been determined at this point.
Yeah. And just to clarify, we're just dealing with the rezoning tonight. The site plan or plan of subdivision, that'll be dealt with separately. Okay.
I guess that's all I have for now. Thank you.
Before you go, I'll just see, council, is there any councilors that have any questions? If not, oh, sorry, Deputy Mayor Field, go ahead.
Through you, just a comment. I think there was a lot of concern too over stormwater when Jock's Crescent, when that went in. And from my understanding, it corrected a lot of it. As a kid, I grew up in Eureka Street and played through all of those, made it through there, which was a bit of a swamp throughout. And I think it's definitely increased and got a lot better. So I think some of these infill, I think will address some of those. And it will likely come through the site plan. It won't be, technically a plan of subdivision, but it'll be the site plan. So yeah, I think some of those will be addressed. And hopefully there'll be trees and shrubs to it. So.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Field. Councillor Patel, go ahead.
Thank you. Through you, just a comment. Since there are a lot of questions that weren't able to be addressed tonight because they haven't come forth on the site plan, is there a way that you can help the community know of the updates as they come forward so that they are more prepared or at least help to be abreast to any development changes?
I'll let the planners try and tackle that. I think my understanding is we won't really know until they do the site plan agreement. So all the details are outlined in that site plan. Mr. Nyman, do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
Through you, Mr. Chair. The site plan process technically is an internal process, a technical review process. So there's not a formal process for involving the public. I expect that the site plan will look very much like the concept plan that was put forward. As far as further details go, the municipality would have to create some kind of process or notification that doesn't currently exist, because it is meant to be the province has made site plan approval more of a technical process, internal.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Thank you for coming to address council. Okay. Next, Mrs. Pearson.
We do have from Jessica Gibbons.
Jessica Gibbons would you like to come forward?
Brad.
Oh,
Great.
right, yeah.
So, Mr. Mayor, I guess the first thing was the wood lot. It got taken down without permits, and you said they came in after and assessed it. But when you assess a wood lot, from my understanding, it's supposed to be 4 feet off the ground. After you take it down, there's nothing 4 feet off the ground.
That's, if I can just interject, though, I think the planner stated that the county had come in and declared that it was not a significant wood lot.
Once it was gone. So how did they determine that is my question.
I think I would hope they would determine it, but based on the stumps and what's there, but I'll ask the planner if he has anything to add to that.
Through you, yeah, that is correct. The woodlot officer would have looked at the stumps that were left and what was ground down, and he would have determined based on size and number of stems whether or not it met the density requirements for being considered a woodlot.
Thank you. Okay.
My main concern there is precedence. Moving forward, other people with lots the same, what's to stop them from going and taking them down without a permit too? So that was our first concern, was that it was done without a permit. And then you're looking at rezoning. So right now, I think the zoning is based off of the surrounding neighborhood. So what does the current zone call for size? Like how many units can they do the current zone? Around 20s.
Well, I think we kind of went through that, but definitely, and correct me if I'm wrong, of the planners basically look at the surrounding area and the development and what's there now when they look at considering what they're looking at rezoning. But I just want to go back to and state that as far as precedent, we treat everyone the same, under the same regulations. And there's no difference. And I mean, if they determine it's a significant woodlot, it's a significant woodlot. But I do want to clarify as far as precedent, there's no precedent here. We're keeping it as far as what are the rules are concerned for anyone. Mr. Nywerning, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
Through you, when we look at whether or not something is compatible with an area, we're looking for compatibility, which is not necessarily the same as. So obviously the proposal would create a density greater than what is in the immediate neighborhood and greater than what's permitted by the current zoning, but that doesn't necessarily invalidate the proposal, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you. Anything else?
Question?
Are you finished? Is there anything else you'd like to add? No, we'll deal with that. Yeah.
I'll wait to hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Deputy Mayor Field,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Through you, and maybe, I think one of the questions that Brad asked was about the zoning and what zones were already in existence. Is that what your question was? I just.
Yeah, because I think they want to increase how dense it can be. So currently I was trying to figure out what the maximum would be currently. And they want to increase it to, I think it was 36 plus the fourplex.
Mr. Nyman, do you want to address that, please?
Yes, through you. So what would be permitted would be based on, I suppose, the minimum lot size requirements in the R2 zone. So there's a variety of zones there, R2, future development, R3, currently on the site. So without rezoning, well, the FD portion of it, you couldn't be used for anything without it being rezoned. The R2 portion, it'd be really hard to develop it for more than one residential lot, frankly, with the limited frontage that it has. But if we were to divide that up into a number of lots based on minimum lot size requirements for R2, it would be just a handful of lots. And then the R3 portion, maybe you could fit another fourplex along that frontage in addition to, so two more than is there now. But I think in terms of when we talk about density, we need to look at not just the zoning bylaw, but also the official plan. As Emily noted, the density there, I believe, is up to 50 units per hectare is what the official plan would allow. So this development is only, what was the number, around 26 or something. So from the official plan perspective, regardless of what the zoning might be, that the proposed density is quite a bit less than would be allowed from the official plan.
Good. Thank you, Mr. Nyman. Anything else you'd like to add?
It was noted in our letter about the wildlife and that and picture sense. So you've seen all that. So I'm sure you'll review all that. Another question was about parking. By the sounds of it, they want to make the parking lot sizes smaller for the existing and new fourplex, which I think there's already a parking issue with the existing fourplexes where them end up on the road rather than in their parking lot. So if they make it smaller, I can only see that being a bigger issue.
Yeah, I think is parking been considered on that, Mr.? I'm sure it has been, but would you like to speak to the parking?
Through you, so the parking does meet the zoning requirements, and we really aren't in a position to ask them to do more. If for whatever reason it's not enough, the people who live there are just they're gonna have to rent those units knowing what parking is available. If parking is spilling out onto streets, then we may have to post no parking signs if that becomes a problem, and enforce our parking bylaws especially for overnight winter parking, things like that.
Thank you, but it does meet our zoning bylaw or parking requirement.
Yes, it does meet the zoning standards.
Thank you.
And yeah, they already went over the storm and wastewater and all that. I'm assuming all that would be funneled into the Eureka existing system.
Sorry, I didn't.
The stormwater and sewage and all that, I'm assuming would funnel into the existing Eureka.
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah. So with knowing how many units you want to put there, I'm assuming some sort of study has been done to ensure what Eureka has currently can accept everything coming out of 36 more units plus a fourplex.
I think that'll be in the site plan agreement to make sure it meets all those requirements. Anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Whining?
Through you. So I've come into this process a little bit later. It's been going on for a while, but my understanding from reading correspondence is that there has been enough investigation done to establish that, yes, there is capacity. And as you state, yes, the details of the servicing will be in the full functional servicing report and servicing plans through the site plan approval process.
Thank you.
I think that's it.
Okay, before you go, council, do you have any questions? Seeing none, thank you for coming to address council. Mrs. Pearson.
Yes,
Go
we
ahead.
have from Mr. Hickabarundi and Ms. Jabil.
Okay. Are they here? Would you like to come forward and speak to your correspondence? No?
So that council has had that circulated as well, your
Okay.
worship.
Thank you. So we all have those copies. I'll just now, at this point, I'll open it up to anyone else, to the public that's here, who would like to address this rezoning. Anyone else wanting? Okay. Seeing none, I'll just ask council before I go on further to, is there any comments or strictly clarification that you would like? We will debate this at the next council meeting, but if any council has any clarification, now is the time to come forward. And again, as I said, we will deal with the bylaw at our next council meeting, which is on Monday, March the 23rd, and council will debate it at that time. Seeing there's no one coming to address council, I will declare this public meeting closed. Thank you for coming, everyone. And council will start at 7 o'clock for our regular